GM. FOMOverse Radio. This is your show host, Austin Hambleton. Today we got Offren on here, all the way from Australia.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Good, I'm good, mate.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
it's a nice early morning for me, so let's get this started for the day.
You know, I never even looked at what time it was. I feel so bad. What time is it there?
3:26 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Man, middle
It's all
middle of
worth
the
it.
night.
All worth it though.
Well, this past 2 weeks actually, I actually went to Cancun, Mexico for four
Okay.
days. Came back, and we had the show going on today, and I'm like, my mic settings are still not 100% where I want them, to be honest. And I've spent so many hours trying to get them like nailed down, and I still can't figure it out. So I'm almost to the point right now where I feel like I need to just buy some high dollar mic now.
Uh, it might just be a software thing. So yeah, I think maybe try and find some people on YouTube. They would who talk about their setups, and that's probably a good way to start. Mm.
All right. Yeah, because some of those mics they can get pretty expensive. 200-300 USD. You know,
Yeah, my
it's nothing when it's point 0.1 ETH, but when you're talking, you're buying real life stuff. I mean,
yeah.
$200 is a lot.
Yeah, my brother, he's a musician and he does a lot of things with audio, and it's crazy how much they get up to.
Speaking of audio, Offren, it almost sounds a little choppy on your end. I don't know if it's.
Is it? Is this a little better? It's probably my work computer is
I
not the best.
I don't know if it's maybe like the mic or something. Maybe you need to get it a little closer. Is that possible?
Hey, is that better?
Yeah, that sounds a lot. Oh,
There we go.
okay. Okay, yeah, that sounds good, man.
Yeah, all good. Just had to.
Anyways, um so geez, it's the 1st of May. Yesterday, we just had a screenshot for Merge.
Yeah, that's exciting. Did you play?
I did play. I did.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. No, not this one. Yeah, I wasn't liquid enough, so I still got my original merges that I had from Nifty Gateway, so still in there with a glimmer of hope. But yeah, I remember you talking about uh, grabbing merges like every couple of weeks or so.
Yep. Yeah, and that ended up working out for me because what I ended up doing was I bought, I think it was like five. I ended up having like five individual mass. And so when it came down to it, it's like I can't remember who said it on Twitter, but somebody was like, you really just need four total merges to play. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, I just hit it like bink right on the head, and so I merged everything together, and it ended up being a 13 mass with four merges. It qualified me for the 750 one, and then there was a 450 category, and so I ended up qualifying for both. I don't know when that matter is gonna drop. I'm not really concerned about it. I'm just having fun.
It'll probably be this week.
You
Yeah.
know, Pock posted something on his Twitter, and this was like maybe like right before the merge game started, and it looked like something that would be matter. and I could be wrong. I'm gonna try to find it here. But I was wondering if this was like already created like a long time ago.
I suspect a lot of Park's creations started many years ago. But what was interesting is Park actually asked for feedback on
Here we go.
merge. So in Discord, they were asking about like, did you like the duration of merge being 1 month? Like, was that long enough for you?
Did I like it for a month?
Yeah,
I thought it was fine.
yeah,
I thought 30 days to play a game was more than enough time. I mean, I feel
yeah,
like that's a happy medium right there.
yeah. So yeah, I think 1 month was good for the majority of people. Um, but imagine the game evolving over, say, 3 months, kind of like Lost Poets. But each maybe each week or each month, a new mechanic gets revealed.
Yeah,
So that
I think this next game may have a longer play out to it. I know
yeah,
there's going to be multiple Mastop Black events, so I imagine there's going to be like these long-term, mass games and short-term mass games.
yeah, I think the short term ones will be fun for the majority of people, but the long term ones will be the most rewarding.
I agree.
Yeah.
Um, so part of me when I was playing this game, I was actually questioning myself. Is this the right move? And
Okay.
because I know there's going to be multiple games, and I know, the total supply of mass is going to decrease over time of these individual tokens. So I'm like, should I keep them separate? Should I just put them all together? And so I just decided to put them all together. Eventually, I think I'm gonna buy, and this is not shilling at all. Do your own research, guys. But I think I'll buy like another 4 singles and just kind of like have some singles to the side.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good plan. Um, in any case, there was a reason why merge has this mechanic, and Park wants us to play with that. So there's no reason not to sit back and just wait. So I think that's where you'll most likely lose out. But any sort of merges, like if you're pulling in, say, like 2 or 3 merges within the event, I think that's going to be a good scenario.
Like just while the events are going on, pull 2 to 3 separate ones. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah. So kind of like what this one was, there was the amount of merges was accumulated over the duration, um, but that was from when it started. I think the next one may be for when the event is occurring, those merges are accumulated. So even though now your merge has, was it like four or five merges?
Yeah, I'll pull mine up here so we can check it
Yeah.
out.
So then the next one may then restart that count during the time frame. So yeah,
Gotcha. Totally understand. So like when the time starts, everybody's at 0, and
yep,
then let's say you have another 30 days. If you have 5 new merges, from May 1st till May 31st, then you can qualify for something.
yeah, yeah. I think that's going to be the way forward. It
That's
puts everyone on an equal ground.
that's some pretty interesting speculation.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that happening. Definitely.
Yeah. Or what I'd be curious to see is someone who had a black mass that went all the way to the alpha.
Oof.
Now that would be a fight, be an amazing long-term goal. Imagine if someone overtook the alpha and it started out as a white little mess, and he grew up, became the alpha. Now that's a story.
You know, are you involved in the internship, the the
Uh,
Discord group?
I am there. I'm not very active.
So I know they have quite a bit of ETH in there and buying power. So I think you go into like a, I don't know if you've seen the movie 300 Sparta,
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like the Spartans. I'm trying to think that I think they teamed up with the Athens, and they were fighting their enemies, and I feel like the Alpha group will be like purchasing or acquiring more mass if somebody were to get real close to that 12,000 mass or whatever they have.
It would be fun though. It would definitely be interesting.
Okay, so here's my merge right there.
Oh,
Number
look at him go.
8090.
Oh,
Um,
and he's class 90 as well.
so
Interesting.
there used to be like some sort of like graph here, and I don't know where the graph went.
Uh,
But
yeah, Tina may have updated this to be a little bit different
yeah,
during the event.
yeah, that's okay. It was pretty cool. It like showed like a time history of when I actually merged. It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
And you can click on these classes here, the ones out of 750, and then you can see like right up here, number one. I know the token ID was by descending order.
yeah, yeah. Look at
So,
that. 20 something.
so let's check this one out. Dang.
28,990. Wow.
Oof. I know those higher IDs started being a lot more valuable, right when
Yeah,
this game came out.
yeah. I still got a mass one, which is like, I think 2700, somewhere around there.
You have a Mass 27, you said?
No, no, no. I have a mass one, which is
Uh huh.
like number 27,000 something.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's sitting there waiting.
That's a pretty high number. I had some. I don't know if mine was that high, but I had like a 20,000 or something like that, and I didn't even pay attention to the ID, which going back I should have, but
Yeah. I think the next one, what's going to be more interesting is where it says class. So at your mass 13 there says he's class 90. So imagine if Puck did a similar scenario, but it was in order of, say, descending class.
how many classes are there?
There's 99. Oh, no, there should be. So it should go from class 00 to class 99.
So is class 0 the alpha, you think?
No, class 0. Yeah, no, class 0 is where your last two digits of your token ID.
Oh. So your class is based off of your token ID number,
Yeah,
the
the
last
last.
two digits.
Yep.
So, oh my gosh, wow. I never even knew that. What's the tier? What's
Here is the color. So tier 1 is the black and white.
Okay.
and I think there was 4 tiers. Tier 4 being the alpha.
And then what tier 2 is like top 5 or top 10 or something?
Yeah, I think tier 2 or tier 4 was the red with the red backgrounds, and then it went to green, not the green, the yellow, sorry, and then the blue.
So here's one of the most interesting players that I've been kind of watching off on the sidelines.
M4433.
Do you know who this is?
No.
So this is Saint Bayview.
St. Bayview. Look
This
at those
dude,
mergers.
oh, if you go on to Nifty Gateway, this dude's on here. Gosh, I see him once a week, twice a week. He's buying up like $100,000 worth of merge each time.
Wow. He's
So
going for alpha.
somebody like this, they could try to go for the alpha. Again, I don't see that happening. Um, I think it would be interesting to see a battle. You know,
Mhm.
they're gonna go to like a digital war with each other. Um, this is when you start getting into like, what kind of defense mechanisms that they have.
Yeah.
So yeah, that it'll be interesting.
Actually, I'm just checking out the live chat as well. Chris, Chris, he's mentioned what happened to cubes. Oh
Okay,
no, don't get us started on cubes.
we can talk about cubes.
Yeah, cubes. Yeah, not much going on there though. They're just dwindling down. I think we're. Have you checked cubes? Watch cubes burn.
Yeah, let's check it out. I'll
Yeah.
pull it up here. Okie dokie.
Juicy, you're not late. We all early. We
Yep.
all early.
Okay. So, here is the fungible cubes remaining. There
Yeah.
used to be 6165, 6,165 cubes. Now it's down to about a third, 2,544 cubes. You can see right here a cube.
Yeah.
5148 was the total supply at the beginning. It's down to about a fifth. 1638 cubes left. 5 cubes, there's been about 100 burn. This is where it gets interesting to me. 10
Yeah.
cubes, only 10 burned. 20, only 5 burned. And then 50, only 2 burned.
2 burned and 50. Wow, that's dedication to burn a cube. 50 cubes.
You know, I have the fungible on display on my Netgear mural,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and just watching 10 cubes up there is just beautiful. I mean,
Would be. Yeah.
it brings this like special emotion, once you see it in person and you're just walking by in your kitchen and you're like, what the.
Yeah. I want to get a display like that as well because I think it'd be interesting to see some of these artworks as a more physical state.
Mhm.
Because right now we're just looking at them, or mostly just looking at them on the computer screen, and then through say like on cyber. I think once we start putting say on cyber onto an actual display where you can interact with it, say as like You know how like in a shopping center where you can go up to the information, like the information booth, and then you go, oh, I want to search for this shop, and then it will tell you where to go. Imagine that as an NFT art gallery, but then you could essentially put that anywhere. So once on like on Cyber now has a new like a new gallery which is combined as kind of like a metaverse. But imagine if you could go pretty much up to one of those, say, information centers and just go, hey, I want to check out park work. And then all of a sudden you get transported to all the park work. Just watching all the galleries. I think that would be something interesting.
You know, I've always thought that there would be companies or big time investors coming in and buying out whole collections. You know, whether it's POC or whether it's FIWO. I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see, families even that are very wealthy come in and they're
Yeah,
just going to have, the wealth and the ability to literally acquire the whole collection. Um,
that's already happening.
yeah,
Yeah. Ooh, holograms. Yes, juice. Yeah, the holograms would be amazing. But I don't think everything would present very well as a hologram. Um, so say like puck creations, they would make sense because a lot of them are a single object. But say when you went to like a NES graphics, that as a hologram would be that would be crazy. Like it'd be very hard to understand.
I I noticed when speaking of NES, when the Ash Chapter 2 released that you were able to pull one of those NES graphics pieces. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I got very lucky. I actually interesting story though. I pretty much went into that Ash 2 drop with a predetermined gas setting. And straight away from the get go, I just went fired out all that gas all at once. And it sat there just like pending for like 15 minutes and I was just sweating bullets just waiting.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like seeing all these people with failed transactions and I'm like, what's going to happen? And then all of a sudden it got through as a success and I was just like, no, this is got to be fake. I must have clicked something wrong here. And then yeah, it came through and I was just like, holy shit, there we go. We pulled the Nest graphics and like you could not be happier with that result.
I mean that's so worth it. How much gas did you end up having to pay?
Actually, I think it was about point two ETH,
That's it?
maybe. Yeah, it wasn't that much. I think
Dang.
I set my GUI at something like 8 or 900, and then I just did a priority fee of a lot higher there.
That's so crazy. See my mistake is I'm not very good with setting limits and stuff like that manually. I haven't spent enough time doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I went in and seen the gas was really high, I was like, "Oh, maybe I can just manually input the gas in really low." I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, never do this. It said gas was going to be like $1,200, and so I was like, okay, so let me put $350 USD. So I put that in there. It immediately failed. It charged me $350. I was like, okay, so that's not how you do it. And yeah, I lost $350. But I can't believe Pac and the team. They literally came out and reimbursed, I feel like, everybody. And same thing with, I think Manifold did some reimbursements as well. But
Yeah,
I thought it was over the top that they would even do something like that.
yeah. It was unfortunate how it ended, but I think a lot of people got very emotional about how the gas played out because yes, we need to be conscious of these scenarios where there is a lot of hype towards a drop, but we need to have realistic gas expectations walking into these. So I don't really like to go out of my means. So when I go into a drop, I plan out how much gas I'm going to max out at. And then from that point, if gas goes higher than my limit, then I'm just going to sit there and wait it out. But
I think it's important to have limits for everything.
yeah,
Um, I really enjoyed Silver Surfer coming on my show. He mentioned that he also had limits too. Um, he had a gas limit to what he was going to pay, and he ended up
yeah,
sticking to that gas limit. But what was even cooler is after the drop was completed, he went in, purchased the whole collection, all 30 pieces, unmorphed, and actually donated all of them to the Alpha Treasury. I thought that was awesome.
it's very generous. Like, not many people are going to go out there and do that.
No, I know he is the pretty much runs Alpha, but
Yeah,
I feel like he's a very positive community leader.
yeah, he's definitely got good intentions.
Good intentions for sure. I'm actually just for wondering what I'm doing. I am apparently you have to pay for Zoom now, so I'm putting in my credit card information.
Okay, so that might be why I was having trauma a little bit earlier.
Maybe.
Actually, oh, Frankie pulled up some Atom packs and 6 and 5. Wow, that's great.
What is it?
Frankie, within our chat, he pulled up a pack, one of Adam's pieces, as well as a 6 and 5 from Ash 2.
Oh, okay, I
That's
see that. I see that in the chat right now. Got Adam.
yeah,
I feel like the Adam piece is stupid underrated. Um, because if you pull up the data here, um, with all of them that have been burned, his piece, I think it's Adam Swap, has been burned the most times.
yeah. But what's going to be interesting is once that gets down to like the 50 mark, because then it becomes high tier burnable.
I think people are going to start burning some tier 2 pieces. What do you think?
Uh, I think the morphed pieces they won't really burn because they've had to put that incentive towards them. But like some of the creators who are not as well known in the Ash ecosystem, then yeah, those pieces will definitely burn. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here's some cool stuff we can look at here. Okay. Let me move it over here. Okay. So you can see that Adam Swab. I might be saying that last name wrong. Swab?
I'm not sure. But Adam, if you're listening, feel free to get in contact with Austin,
Yeah.
and we'll get you on.
Yep. 86 burned, 164 remaining. See, here's what's interesting to me. 5 morphed.
Mm,
So, what happens if there's, let's say there's 51 morphed pieces, right?
yeah.
Well, even if all of them are burned and there's 51, technically it wouldn't be a high tier burn piece. So that's why I say there's going to be some tier 2, I bet that's going to be burned in order to release that certain threshold.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
I'm. I wonder, can we actually morph tier two pieces?
Okay, so there's been some sort of speculation that there will be like a tier 3. Maybe you have to burn like 5 tier 2s to get a tier 3. But again,
Hmm,
I mean,
interesting.
that's just a thought.
I I don't think there's going to be a tier three because each creator was only presenting two iterations.
Hmm.
So there's not going to be a third iteration.
So this one's interesting. Pock. Morphed. 54 morphed. So, this is going to be hard to be high tier burnable, in my opinion.
Yeah,
There's still 246 remaining.
that's for Park's piece. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I think um I think like the very even say like Fuckerenda has like 147 pieces left
200.
and like 200, yeah. So like Park, even Mad Dog Jones and like Nest Graphics, and I think maybe DK, like those are the creators whose editions probably won't get down to the burn threshold.
They're more so just kind of like a low supply collection piece.
Yeah, well, except for Ness's context. Ness, this is actually his biggest edition run.
I had to cop a NES. I've never had the opportunity really to get it at the right time. There's never really a right time for anything, but
Mm.
I had to cop one of these things to feel something.
Yeah, yeah. I think this was one of the easiest ways to get into Ness, but also the creation is actually probably one of Ness's most interesting because there is that second layer to it. So, like, I think there's, I think out of pretty much, I think out of most of the Ash 2 creators, I think we're going to see more of the Ness graphics of the version 2 than we would see of most other creators. Because people want to hold Ness's work.
So you're saying that there's going to be more morphed pieces from NES.
Yeah,
I could see
yeah,
that. Definitely, I could see that.
yeah.
So there's 5 burned, which is insane to just burn his piece. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but they must love one of those other creations even more.
So when we go back up to the top, Adam right there, 86 burned. Phew. There's not that many remaining. 164. I mean, I could see this getting down to the sub 100s here in a couple months.
Yeah, I think right now is probably one of the best opportunities to like snag, say, like two or three of them,
Yes.
and then just bank them away, because then you could either like, first of all, it's a great piece,
Hmm.
so there's no real harm just holding it there. But then also like you could use it to morph one of your other pieces, or you can possibly just wait it out for burning. But like in any scenario, it's kind of like a win-win.
Yeah, definitely. Like, even if you're not collecting to burn, um, this is one of those collections where it's just cool to even just have one piece.
Yeah, yeah,
So definitely, if you're a pot collector, you want to try to have one of every collection.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Or
that's
even
that's a
if,
that's a dream.
yeah, even if you wanted a low edition number of a park, like his, what is it? The room is like less than one ETH, which is very rare to find. So yeah, I think that's a really good opportunity for a park
Yeah, so
artwork.
only 250 editions, right, of the room. Let's just say maybe there's less.
Yeah.
You go back to watch cubes burn. I
Hmm.
mean, 10 cubes right here is 247 supply.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
And
it might not have the same function, but
yep.
again, if you're talking about the overall supply,
Well, it has a very similar function, but yeah, like
that
the
we
the
know.
price of it. Yes. Well, it's still high tier burnable after
Right.
the edition gets down to 50, so it is still it is still similar to cubes, but the threshold to get there is much harder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
Here's the cube floor.
oh, look at those FOMOs burned. 328.
There we go. 26% of the supply burned.
Mhm. That's interesting. And there's less than oh, almost 900 of us remaining.
I think I think MaxPax has quite a few of these FOMOs.
Yeah. The last time I pulled up his scan, I think he had a handful.
Oh, so he does. I thought at one time he might have had like 50 or something.
Yeah, knowing Mexpex, he has a bunch. Let me let me just pull it up. Right. X has 25. Xpex almost needs to create his own custody system, like Nifty Gateway. Like,
Yeah, he could just off of all of his pieces that he has.
yeah. And then the right after Mexpex is Machi Big Brother. So he's actually quite big in the Bored Apes community.
What's this guy's name?
Machi Big Brother.
Is he on OpenSea or are you looking him up on Twitter?
Uh, I'm checking him on Etherscan.
Okay.
He holds 23 Firmoverse.
Jeez.
He was actually offering to do the giveaway of like a couple of Firmoverse. Was it? Yeah, last year, like late last year.
I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember somebody talking about doing a giveaway and then they never ended up doing it.
yeah. I believe that was Machi Big Brother. But Yeah, he may come back again into the FOMOverse, but I do know he's more into the bored apes. He actually has his own marketplace. I think it's called X. Yeah, yeah, I believe it's called X.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's doing quite a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. His marketplace is called X, and they yeah, it's XXYZ, and they were actually the marketplace that started implementing ApeCoin just like about a month ago.
Oh, okay. Wow. So they probably been doing pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose.
Speaking of that, ApeCoin,
Hmm.
I got this pulled up here.
Oh, the other side.
Boy, I had some fun looking at some Twitter comments about this last night. Um,
Yeah. Did you start getting like deja vu?
yes. Uh, people were paying like 7 ETH or something for these um, on secondary. I also seen people were paying about 2 Ethereum for gas.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
I heard somebody was able to mint like 5 to 6 thousands of these and instantly
Ooh,
flip them for like 5 million or something.
wow, that's a ballsy play. It's yeah, there's been too much news with this to even understand the half of it. Yeah, 1008. Actually, it's interesting to see where you have another NFT project create its own coin um, to fuel its ecosystem. So, but what's interesting is it had a very similar effect as Ash, but in a much quicker time frame.
Yeah, I think this is the only other cryptocurrency other than Ethereum that you can list on OpenSea. I think they have Ape, Ash, Ethereum, and maybe
Uh,
Polygon or something.
and to, yeah, yeah, there are a handful, but each collection needs to approve what currency they wish to sell
Okay,
in.
so it's by the collection then. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I do know you can sell stuff in, say, whale as well. Um, yeah, there's a whole bunch of currency that you can sell on OpenSea.
Other deed for other side.
Yeah,
Well, we'll see where it goes.
yeah.
So, what have you been working on, man?
Yeah, time to chill. Um, I've actually been spending time learning to do animations. Um, so pretty much for the past year, I've been attempting to do a like a render or an animation every day. And over that time, I've actually started to develop a idea around a character. And if you wanted to pull up that image I sent you, like this,
The pink one or the other one?
uh, let's do the character, the person. Yeah. Yeah.
How long did it take you to do something like this?
Um, this one has been started December last year. So it's been a very long process, but I mostly work on it, say, an hour a day, if that. So it's like it could be done a lot quicker. But yeah, this one does take quite a while to render out. But yeah, it's this character is intended to sort of tell a story, and yeah, he's there. We go. Here he is. Yeah, this story has it's based off an old character, and it's a character called Narcissus, and there's a lot of like old artworks which base off this character, and yeah, no one was really. I haven't really seen too much about Narcissist in the NFT world yet. And when you look back at like art history, um, there are artists like Caravaggio, um, and his artworks are very. This is where I got a lot of inspiration from. Yeah, it's. I think it's just really. It's really interesting to try and put this character into the context of like NFTs because we're essentially putting ourselves into this like empty world and trying to populate it. So that's what I aimed to try and bring forward in this little artwork. So,
That's awesome, man.
yeah,
When was this character like? What kind of time frame? Um,
Nas- Narcissist is more of like a mythological story,
okay.
but yeah, it's undetermined if he was actually real.
Wow.
This is why it's so interesting to take into like the NFT worlds because like yes, we could have characters who exist within the NFT space, but they may not necessarily be real. And like there's a thing which is like virtual humans who are potentially going to start coming out and becoming more common.
Yep.
And how do they get presented to us, which is going to be interesting.
You know, I was listening to Elon Musk,
Yeah,
and he was mentioning how AI is could be one of like the most um, powerful tools in this universe and on this planet. He said
yeah,
it's far more dangerous than any type of nuke or anything like that. So if you think about like AI advanced uh, technologies and stuff taking over, I've always thought about like robots scavenging in the future. They could find your seed phrase because it's etched on the back of a piece of paper and end up taking all your passwords and stuff. And
yeah,
it's gonna be amazing to see where AI is in the next 10 to 20 years.
yep,
I don't think AI was really a thing back in like the early 2000s. I mean, maybe it was, but it was probably like very like baby stage. And to see how far AI has came, it's amazing to me.
yeah, yeah. I think actually Elon Musk had a couple of interviews. It was about 2 weeks ago, um, and he was talking about AI. Once we solve AI or get AI to a state where it can pretty much do most of the tasks that we want it to do, that's when we're going to start seeing a new industry, which is like domestic robots. And that industry is potentially going to be bigger than the car industry.
Then the what industry?
Industry, like the automotive industry.
Yep, and see, that's something that could potentially take over my job. I work in the automotive industry, and you know,
Yeah, it could take a lot of people's jobs, and that's where it becomes scary. But also, like, even if it does have the ability to take people's jobs, it's not going to take everyone's job. Because,
right? There's
like,
there,
businesses are going to realize that they can't just cut everyone off.
absolutely, um, and I think there's going to be some sort of new job creations, like you were
Yeah.
saying. So, well, it'll just be interesting to see. Um, Speaking of creations, there was one other thing that you sent me.
Yes. Yeah. Um, this one actually,
Whoa.
this was one of the pieces that I spent a bit of time to learn about on-chain NFTs. So um, I actually had a look at Puck's. What was it? The fade.
Uh huh.
Yeah, and this is where a lot of this one came in. Um, so fade was actually an on-chain SVG NFT that kept on changing its color based on the wallet. So I spent a bit of time and actually learned how to create an SVG image that changes color. Um, so yeah, this one I've never had any coding experience before, so it took me about a was it about a month to learn how to do this one. But yeah, it's very interesting because Manifold actually make it very easy to create an on-chain NFT. So this is actually an NFT that you can't actually right click and save as and present it up into like as a JPEG. So it just doesn't save as a JPEG. So but it's
Oh,
very
that's so
interesting.
cool. So, if I saved it and then opened it up, it takes me to the website up here.
Yeah, that's because an SVG is a code. Um, but the way that you put the SVG into the NFT is by turning that code into like a web page for your browser to read.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, I actually have another version of this. So um, after this after this FOMO radio, I'll post up a little giveaway for some of the listeners if they were paying attention to my character. You'll guess the name very quickly.
Oh, shoot.
So yes,
Oh, shoot. I have
yeah,
it written
yeah.
down. I'm gonna
Oh no.
win. I'm gonna win.
give them a chance.
Okay,
Uh,
fine. I'll let you
but
guys
yeah,
win.
we'll give one away. So yeah, it will be visually different to that one that you just saw, but the code will actually be pretty similar. It's yeah, it was very interesting to do that just for about a month and just test out how these things work. But yeah,
Well, good job on that, man. That's
thank you.
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I've always thought, you introduced me to, I believe his name was Nahiko.
Ah, yes, Nahiko.
And I just feel like, you're like a Nahiko Junior or something. Like you're like following those
Oh,
footsteps, man. So keep it
he's
up.
def he's
You're doing
definitely
well.
an inspiration, but yeah, nowhere near the level of uh of his skill. He's insane with his creations.
Yeah.
You should get on his Discord
Hmm.
and start chatting with Winry. Winry is an AI bot. Good
And
old Winry.
Nahiko made him.
Yeah, Nahiko made Winry. Do you remember when Dell was doing Find Balance?
Yes.
And there was I think the bot was called Oracle.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oracle.
yeah. Winry is a refined version of Oracle.
Yeah,
So
because Oracle kind of had a little potty mouth, huh?
yeah, yeah. Winry doesn't like to chat like that. Winry is she she's very compelling.
Nice. Well, for any of you that aren't on Nahiko's Discord, check that out. You can go to
Yeah,
his Twitter page and find him that way. And I'm pretty sure he just has the Discord just right
yeah.
there. Let's see. Yep, just right on the front page there.
I'll share his Twitter in the chat. There we go.
Well, thank you. Alrighty.
Yeah,
Well, um, it's already been about an hour here. Doesn't seem like it.
yeah. Time flies.
It's always good chatting with you, brother. I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah, likewise. It's always good listening to you every week. Yeah, it's you're always inspiring us. So
Well, thanks, brother. Keep up the good work. If you want to share your work, guys, go to Offrin's Twitter page. Check him out. He's got some cool stuff going on there. Got some cool creations coming out. Check out his OpenSea. Um, anything else that you want to share with him, Alfred?
uh, there actually might be an F drop soon.
Oh.
Yeah, but more will come on that later.
We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for coming on.